Hello, welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz and I will be guiding you on this journey today. This is a reading for, who are we starting with? I guess we'll start with Aries. I've been kind of doing like the sign whose season we are in, but you know, there's no rules really over here. So let's just start with Aries. Wherever Aries is in your chart, of course. And I don't know, I feel like whatever. Okay, let me just explain why we have 3 decks out here first, because I'm trying to remember if there's anything else that I say at the beginning of a video. I feel like it's been forever since I've put out videos. I've been like buried in work the last couple weeks. Anyway, okay, whatever. If it comes to me, then I'll mention it, but let's just move on. So we have 3 decks out here. We'll see how this goes. Okay. Like I was almost going to do like a reading for myself first, just to kind of see, you know, how it flowed or whatever. But I'm like, fuck it. You know, why not just do the first time for a YouTube video? So I got these 2 new decks. I got the Before Tarot and the After Tarot. And I just I kind of want to do like a recent, past, present, and then near future reading. The Before Tarot is basically like the moment before the quote unquote event that is on your traditional Rider-Waite tarot. And then of course the After Tarot is like the moments preceding or the moments after that. And I thought I had just a regular Rider-Waite tarot deck. I don't know if I like gifted it to somebody or what, but whatever. I have the Radiant Wise tarot deck, which is the same as just, you know, like the images are I don't know, pumped up a little bit. So the Before Tarot is on the left. The Radiant Wise Tarot is in the middle, which would represent, you know, the present energy, or the energy that is like currently surrounding you. Of course, the Before Tarot is like your recent past. And then the After Tarot is either going to be, you know, like the outcome or the energy of what is to follow. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully, you know, also too, I'm like, it's kind of giving me anxiety to only take like one card from each one of these decks. I mean, we'll maybe probably look at the bottom of the deck too, but you know, we'll see how it goes. I'm going to shuffle these a few times and just kind of wake them up a little bit. Okay, so let's start with the recent past. I'm just going to shuffle Either until one card comes out, we're only taking one, or we'll cut the deck and we'll take the card on top. For Aries. Dang. Hold on. We have the 10 of Cups for the recent past. I don't know, we're figuring this out as we go. I'm like, what do I do with these 3 decks? Maybe like that. And the present energy. I don't know if that's going to be like annoying to me. I need a bigger... And then we'll just bring them back over when we talk about the bottom of the deck. If we end up talking about the bottom of the deck, I really have no clue. We have the 7 of Wands for the current energy. And the 5 of Wands as the future. 5 of Swords. It's interesting because like the feeling that I'm getting from all of these cards, even before the 5 of Swords came out here, was about really being in the thick of things. Because even with this 10 of Cups in the before tarot, we can see that there's this rainstorm here, and it's kind of like they were caught off guard, and also too, of course, that whole saying, when it rains, it pours, right? So it's almost like with the recent past, maybe there have been things that is just like one thing after the other, and it's almost like you're trying your best to find the positive in it, or really trying your best to see it as being part of the journey. Even to like recognizing if you are in a period of transition, that whatever is going on around you, if it is pouring type of thing, then it's like recognizing that you are in a period of transition, and that this is, whatever is going on is part of that transition. And to like almost just telling yourself to like get to the other side of it, because technically, I mean, the 10 of Cups is a good card. Like it talks about family and community, and cups having to do with our emotions, love, our relationship to our emotions, our ability to feel our feelings, right? But also our relationship to love. How do we give it? How do we receive it? Even just, family unit, there are 2 adults here and 2 children. So also even how they're all in it together. So it could be that, whatever this transition period is, because it does feel transitionary to me, whatever it is, it's like you are seeing it as a benefit to the whole unit. I mean, regardless of if you are like partnered or have children or whatever, right? It's like for the highest good of like everybody involved type of thing. And too, like getting through it. Cause like, of course, like they're running, because it's raining, but, there's still movement forward. Not to mention too, this rain would be filling these 10 cups up here. So truly, like whatever it is that recent past that you have been going through, if it is a transition, if you do just kind of find yourself in a period where almost to where, like a lot of manifestations could be happening at the same time, or intentions that you have set, energies that you are trying to like pull into your life. It's like, those things could all be coming in at the same time. And it's like, rah, like what? Maybe you find yourself more busy. Maybe you find yourself also even too, like in a period of gratitude. It's like, being grateful for those intentions or those manifestations or that energy coming in at the same time, even if you do feel overwhelmed or a little caught off guard about it. I don't know if I like finished my thought about these 10 cups, but like this rain would be also filling those cups. So like whatever it is, whatever situation, mindset, feeling, whatever it is that you find yourself in, it is like even a reminder to be grateful as much as you can be, of course, like that I know that is like a blanket statement. And I, like I'm not trying to be like toxic positivity, because that's also not the jam. But it's like it's recognizing that you are heading in a direction that you have been holding your position on for some time here. We have the 7 of Wands in the middle. It's interesting too, like the only element that we're missing out here, of course, is Pentacles. And maybe there's a Pentacle at the bottom of the deck somewhere. But it's interesting, we have our feelings to consider, we have our actions to consider, and we have our mindset and thoughts, to consider over here too. So, and it's interesting too that it's the emotions and the mind that are flanking the actions. Like the action card is in the middle because, wands have to do with the actions that we take, the things that we try, the motivation behind those things, creativity, passion. It's fire, right? Which obviously, Aries is a fire sign. Also, like how you're communicating those things. I see wands as being information by way of experience, because that's what we get by trying things. Also, we figure out what works, what doesn't work, what do we like, what don't we like, what stays, what goes. And truly, the only way to figure out those things is by trying. Because thinking can only take us so far, right? And truly, trying a thing or putting energy or taking action towards a thing is the only way to see if what you thought about it is true, or if your thought changes or whatever. So the Seven of Wands is also about defending your action. We can see, that this one person, they're also holding the Ace of Wands here. There's these 6 wands down here. I mean, we can't see that there are people holding these wands, but what is interesting actually, as I'm like looking at this card, it almost kind of feels like this figure is setting these wands in the ground for whatever reason. That's interesting to me. Honestly, I don't think I've ever really... I usually kind of go down the route of these 6 wands being like other people's projections, their reasons why they wouldn't do it, their reasons why you shouldn't do it, their doubts, their fears, their blah, 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 right? That they're projecting like onto you. And then you're just here being like, first of all, I didn't even ask. Second of all, like, it's my lessons to learn. It's my information to gain. And, like my intuition or, my feeling is to take action towards this thing, and I'll handle whatever comes of it. Right. But like, I have to take the action in order to figure out if it is something that I want to continue to do or invest more time in, or, whatever. Right. But like I said, so that is usually like my take on the Seven of Wands. But for whatever reason, like, I think too, just like their stance, like to me, it just kind of seems like literally like setting posts here, which to me feels like prep work. It could also even be trying different things, because let's say that this person is about to stick this wand into the ground next to this one over here, right on the right. They still, like, they have it in their hands. So, and again, the Ace of Wands, right, is about a spark. It's, like a new creative thing coming into your life. It's something that gives you purpose, or that you feel motivated to do. It's also too like the energy showing up for you to want to do the thing or to take action, towards the thing. So again, it could be that you have been trying multiple things, like just kind of seeing how it goes, seeing how you feel with it too, like seeing if it fills your cup, seeing if it does like benefit you and anybody else involved. Maybe even trying to like find community, where you can express yourself. Also too, like even developing skills, collecting experience and collecting skill sets, because, like it would be putting a lot of energy into developing your skill set, developing your creative expression, or even to your passions. And again, even like I was saying with this 10 of Cups over here, right, about like when it rains, it pours. And this could be like those different intentions that you've been setting, or, the energy that you have been calling in. And again, like by, putting yourself out there, or by trying different things, or adding more, to your plate, it's almost kind of like all of that is somehow coming together. It's also too, just a message about continuing forward. Like this is very much still being in the thick of it. Like I said, like all of this kind of still feels like being in the middle, or, like the 10 is a completion though. So there's, something is coming together, but it's like not all the way complete. It's almost like, just the energies are now starting to like gel together, but still having to take the action towards it, it almost kind of feels like strength a little bit too, like perseverance and being determined. The 5 of Swords in the near future. I usually see the 5 of Swords as being a battle of wits, because there usually are 3 people involved in the 5 of Swords. And it's almost like a win at all costs. There's an arrogance or an ignorance maybe to the 5 of Swords. 5s are transitionary energies too. So, we've been talking about transitions, and they're nothing really to like get stuck in, but this card being the after tarot, the moments after, what the scene depicts on the traditional tarot, is that this person has won. There's these 2 swords on the ground. These 2 people are walking away. What keeps coming to my mind, and I was talking about my usual interpretation of the 7 of Wands being, other people's projections, and their doubts and their fears and their, whatever. It's also too like one of those things of like, there are just some people that need to be shown. Like there are just some people that, they just cannot imagine whatever the idea is, whatever the goal, the aspiration, whatever, it's like they just cannot imagine it working out. And truly, like those people, it's like they just need to be shown, and there is no like logical reasoning with them. It's just like you have this idea that you have been defending, that you have been putting action towards, having, determination, just also too, like even having an intuition that it's going to work out, right? And maybe that's also a little bit, I don't want to say like scary. I can't think of the actual word that I'm trying to say, but if it is like one of those things of like following your intuition, whether it be for the first time or not, because, still like no matter how used to you are of following your intuition, sometimes it just doesn't make sense, but you're like, I have this knowing, I have this deep knowing. And especially if you are just kind of caught in a proverbial rainstorm, because of course it doesn't have to be literal. It could just be, being in that period of following your intuition, because inevitably sometimes like that is going to happen where you're just going to get kind of caught in the middle of what you perceive or what other people perceive to be a storm or treacherous, territory or whatever. And that's where most people would give up. But you're like, no, like this is, I still, it feels right to me. It feels good to me. My intuition is still telling me to proceed forward. And like I said, like this card, even though it is the 5 of Swords, there seems to be almost kind of an I told you so type of energy. And the 2 figures, and of course it doesn't have to be 3 people. It could be more or less, right? But it is this energy of even the way, they're holding up this sword here, like victorious type of thing. It is an energy of I told you so. And these 2 people laying down their swords and walking away. And that, swords have to do with our mindset, how we think of things, what we think of things, our perspectives. It's also our ego, because that's where our perspective comes from. And that's generally where we tend to hear our ego, is in our minds. And our ego is created by the beliefs or the stories that we attach to experiences. And it's the reasons why we do and don't do things. It's the reasons why we project whatever it is that we project. So again, with these 2 figures laying down their swords here, it's almost like they're just, I don't want to say changing their mind, but it's almost like they're giving up on trying to change yours. They're giving up on, almost like really trying to impose their thinking or their mindset or their beliefs on you. Because you're like, see, I told you the thing that I have been manifesting, the energy that I've been calling in, what I have been putting so much energy, focus, defense in would work out. Let's see the cards at the bottom of the decks here. How much? Does that say 32 or 22? 32? I don't know. I don't want to make these like super duper long. Well, okay. Let's just kind of speed through it a little bit. We have the Page of Wands at the bottom of the Before Tarot. We have the Sun at the bottom of the Radiant White Tarot. And we have the Chariot at the bottom of the After Tarot. And of course, if you haven't done so already, I would absolutely love it if you subscribed to my channel. It helps me grow. It helps YouTube kick the videos out so other people can see them. And, like the video, save it, share it, whatever, it's all free ways that you can support me and energy exchange, right? So, and thank you. So I'm curious, actually, this Page of Wands, here we go. The Page of Wands is a personification of fire. He is fire in human form. The Page of Wands kneels to examine an ancient monument. It's covered in hieroglyphic inscriptions, messages so important to future generations that they were carved into stone. Fiery, spirited, creative, and outspoken, or a messenger with news about your career. Also, too, still kind of funny that we don't have like pentacles out here, speaking of career, but it's interesting that The Page of Wands would like mention career. And I also love that it's fire and not necessarily pentacles, especially again, right? Like with Aries being a fire sign, because it's also too, it's like about aligning your life with your own energy, like what works for you. Pages are new, it's like, it is, feeling that internal fire. It is even just connecting to that in a different way, to where the actions that you are taking, or, the direction that you are heading in, it's almost like you're doing it in your own way versus, following somebody else's template. Even to, like with these hieroglyphics here, you could be like coming across some information that just really clicks for you. And maybe it is literally just a matter of recognizing that you can be successful doing things authentically to you. Like you don't have to follow the traditional path of success, right? But it's literally like going within yourself, honoring yourself, like having this goal of where you see yourself, where you see your family, where you want to be, or even again, like the communities that you want to be involved in. And just even, reading about or having a conversation about, or, even seeing videos or whatever about other people who have almost kind of done the same-ish thing, in the sense of recognizing that the traditional path just wasn't quite working for them. And again, like by following your own fire, your own passions, your own way of expressing yourself, that there is success in that. And we can see that even too, like with the 10 of Cups. And even maybe because this is the recent past, like you could be recognizing and just almost observing those areas in your life where you have seen those successes. And then the Sun with the 7 of Wands. I mean, truly, like whatever the 7 of Wands is for you, it has been bringing you joy. It has been making you happy. And maybe it is literally like just pouring your energy into whatever that interest is of yours. And even the Chariot with the 5 of Swords. There is movement forward here. Even these two, I don't know if they're like sphinxes or whatever. I feel like I should probably like cover these up, but like one of their paws is up. So there is movement forward. So whatever this success is that you're having here, because this is all going to work out. Whatever it is that you have been putting a lot of energy into, or again, the energy that you've been calling in, it is going to work out. Even if it like, just kind of feels like you're in the middle of like a tornado, like right now. And the idea that you had, the energy that you are calling in, whatever this is that has been making you feel happy and fulfilled and purposeful, there is going to be this movement forward. even, we can see this little town back here, and they're moving away from that. So, I mean, of course, maybe there could be moving locations, but it's almost like leaving behind what is no longer serving you. It's like almost kind of like finally breaking away from, like I was even talking about the traditional thing, your conditioning even too, because we are all conditioned to believe that, life, success, family, whatever, there's a very specific way to go about that, or very specific way of like how that even looks. And this to me feels like finally moving away from that, because too, it's like you have more confidence in what you're doing. You have more evidence to support that what you are doing is successful and that it's what you want to do. And it is, again, like making you feel purposeful and fulfilled. So it's like almost going all in on it and feeling divinely guided to do so as well. Beautiful. I'm going to leave it there. I hope that this reading was like, okay, the way that we did that. I'm excited, like just to kind of see how it goes, like moving forward. So definitely check out your your sun, moon, rising, if they are other signs. I mean, unless you're a triple Aries. But yeah, I don't know, like check out some other readings if you feel inclined to, just to kind of see if the readings evolve. I don't know. Okay, thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.